Welcome to my channel, US Rare Coins News, Top 1. Today we are looking at a penny that could be sitting in your change jar right now, and if it's a 1944 D steel wheat penny, it might be worth more than $1,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent. Over $1,000. And most people don't even know this coin exists. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what makes the 1944 D steel penny so unusual, how to spot the rare mistakes collectors hunt for, and the real prices top examples have brought at auction. Let's start by looking at the coin itself. Hold it up close to the camera. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. You'll see Abraham Lincoln on the front, facing right. The word Liberty is on the left, and the date 1944 is on the right. Just below the date is the D, which tells us it was minted in Denver. Now flip it over. On the back, you'll see the wheat ears on either side, the iconic design that gives the wheat penny its name. In the center, United States of America, and just above the words 1 cent. Here's the part that makes this coin unusual. During World War II, copper was in high demand for ammunition and military equipment. In 1943, the U.S. Mint made pennies out of steel coated with zinc. Most 1944 pennies, however, went back to copper, because copper supplies were available again. But a few steel planchets from 1943 accidentally ended up being struck with the 1944 dies at the Denver Mint. That's how the 1944 D steel penny was born. That means a coin that looks ordinary could actually be one of the rare mistakes that collectors drool over. And finding one in decent condition is incredibly rare. Zoom in with the camera on the edge of the coin. Notice the color. A steel penny has a silver gray look, different from the typical copper pennies. If it's shiny, smooth, and free of corrosion, it could be a serious collector's item. Most circulated examples, with scratches and wear, are worth a few $100s. But top-grade examples, especially those with strong luster and sharp details, have sold at auction for more than $1,000. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Some 1944 D steel pennies show slight die errors, like doubling on the date or small spots where the zinc didn't coat the steel properly. These tiny details can make a big difference in value. A coin with a noticeable error, especially in high grade, can fetch even more from serious collectors. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that was accidentally made nearly 80 years ago during a global war. It's not just money. It's a piece of history. Every scratch, every mark, tells a story of circulation, survival, and rarity. Let me ask you this: do you have a jar of old pennies at home? Have you ever checked for a silver gray steel penny among your copper coins? And which coin in your collection would you be most excited to discover if it turned out to be rare? To recap, the 1944 D steel wheat penny was an accidental mistake at the Denver Mint. Most 1944 pennies are copper, but a few steel ones slipped through. Circulated examples are worth hundreds of dollars, and high-grade or error examples have sold for over $1,000. It's a small coin with an enormous story. Top 2. Today we are looking at a penny that could be sitting in your change right now, and if it's a 1944 S steel wheat penny, it might be worth more than $1,000. Yes, a single penny. And yet, in the right condition, collectors will pay serious money for it. In this video, I'm going to show you why the 1944 S steel penny is so unusual, how to spot the rare mistakes that make it valuable, and the real auction prices top examples have brought. Let's start with the coin itself. Hold it up close. On the front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln facing right. The word Liberty is to the left, the date 1944 is on the right, and just below it is the S mint mark for San Francisco. At first glance, it looks like a regular Lincoln cent. Now flip it over. The back shows the classic wheat ears design. United States of America curves across the top, 1 cent sits in the center, and two stylized wheat stalks flank the edges. But here's what makes this coin so unusual. During World War II, copper was in high demand for ammunition and other war materials. In 1943, pennies were made from steel coated with zinc. By 1944, the mint returned to copper for most pennies. But at the San Francisco Mint, a few steel planchets from 1943 accidentally got struck with 1944 dies. That's how the 1944 steel wheat penny was born. This accidental steel penny is extremely rare, and finding one in decent condition is almost like finding a needle in a haystack. Zoom in closely on the edge and surface. Steel pennies have a distinct silver-gray color, different from the typical copper pennies. If the coin is smooth, with sharp details on Lincoln and the wheat ears, you might be looking at a serious collector's item. Circulated examples with scratches or where typically sell for several $100s. But coins in near mint condition, with full luster and no corrosion, can reach well over $1,000 at auction. That's a huge jump for a coin that most people would overlook in a jar of pennies. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. Some of these 1944 steel pennies show die errors, like doubling on the date or small spots where the zinc coating didn't adhere properly. These tiny mistakes can make a coin even more valuable to collectors. Other errors include off-center strikes or die cracks running through the design. Imagine finding one of these in perfect condition. It's like hitting the coin collector's jackpot. Think about the history too. Every steel penny carries a story from World War II. The US was conserving copper, and these coins are a direct link to that period. Holding one is like holding a small piece of history that survived nearly 80 years. Let me ask you, do you have a jar of old pennies at home? Have you ever checked closely for a steel penny among the copper ones? And which coin would you be most excited to find in your collection if it turned out to be rare? To recap, the 1944 steel wheat penny was an accidental strike on a leftover 1943 steel planchet at the San Francisco Mint. Circulated examples typically sell for several $100s, while high-grade, near-mint examples have sold for over $1,000. Error coins can command even higher prices depending on the type and condition of the mistake, all from a penny most people don't even look at twice. Top 3. Today we are looking at a penny that could be hiding in your change and might be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. It's the 1944 steel wheat penny, a coin that tells a story of war, history, and a minting mistake that collectors go crazy for. At first glance, it looks ordinary. But in this video, I'm going to show you what makes this coin unusual, how to spot the rare mistakes, and why some examples have sold for serious money at auction. You'll want to watch closely because even small details can change the value dramatically. Let's start with the coin itself. Hold it up close. On the front, Abraham Lincoln is facing right. Just like every Lincoln cent, Liberty sits to the left. The date 1944 is on the right, and depending on where it was minted, you might see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the real story is in what the coin is made of. Now flip it over. You'll see the iconic wheat ears, stretching along both sides of the coin. United States of America is at the top, 1 cent in the center, and the wheat ears frame the design perfectly. This is the familiar wheat penny design that collectors love, but the 1944 version is different because of the metal it's made from. During World War II, copper was in short supply because it was needed for ammunition and other military equipment. In 1943, pennies were made of steel coated with zinc instead of copper. By 1944, most pennies went back to copper. But a few leftover steel planchets were accidentally struck with 1944 dies. That means a tiny number of steel 1944 pennies exist, and those coins are extremely rare. Take a closer look at the color and texture. Steel pennies have a silver-gray appearance, unlike the usual reddish-brown copper. If the surfaces are clean, smooth, and show little wear, you might be looking at a coin worth checking out. Most circulated examples of the 1944 steel penny sell for a few $100s. But high-grade examples, especially those with minimal marks and strong luster, have sold for over $1,000. And some error coins, like off-center strikes, double strikes, or die cracks, can sell for even more depending on rarity and condition. Imagine holding a coin that survived nearly 80 years, a coin that accidentally slipped through the mint's production line during a global war. Every scratch, every mark, every bit of wear tells a story. These pennies are not just currency, they are a piece of history. Let me ask you, have you ever checked your change for a steel penny? Could one be hiding in a jar at home, waiting to be discovered? And which coin in your collection would you love to find if it turned out to be a rare error or high-grade example? To recap, the 1944 steel wheat penny is a World War II-era anomaly struck on leftover steel planchets. Circulated examples can bring hundreds of dollars, while high-grade, near-mint examples can fetch over $1,000. Rare error coins can sell even higher depending on the type and condition. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1944 steel wheat penny, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more hidden coin treasures. Drop a comment below and tell me if you've ever found a rare coin in your change, or which coin you'd be most excited to add to your collection next. And keep watching, because the next hidden treasure might already be sitting in your pocket right now.